Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I'm Lucas and welcome back to another video, and today I have actually got some old footage back from F1 2018, which was my first year competitively league racing before I actually got... This was the year before I got into F1 esports, so yeah, managed to get some old footage off my laptop that I literally put a USB stick into my PlayStation 4 and uploaded it onto, and then I've therefore got it onto my PC after having dug out my laptop, so yeah. That long story that was very definitely not necessary to explain. Let's get into it. So I guess to start, we'll just have a look at actually... Well, first of all, there's a glaring difference. I used to race in cockpit cam. Yes, this is literally... This is a pole lap from AOR Bahrain, season 17, if I remember correctly. And this was back in the day when you had to qualify in short qualifying on the alternate tyre. So I mean, you can see me, I'm on the soft, not the super soft, and this was my pole lap, and it's just so bizarre just to look back and see the driving style differences. I mean, the way the car's rotating, the way we're using the gears, you know, down to first gear, back up to third gear, the short shifting techniques, the way the car's almost like floating on the traction. It's... yeah, kind of crazy to look back on, seeing the way I'm, you know, aggressively steering in. It's so different to what we do now. Like, the games have changed so much, and also this was back when there was ballast. You know, this was the final game of, you know, ballast being a thing in the setup, and yeah, this is just kind of crazy to look back on, and we've actually got a little bit of traffic there, but yeah, even the lines we're using at this time are a little bit different. It's so interesting to look back on. To me, I mean, it's weird though, because I'm watching this and I can remember the exact way to drive from watching it. I can understand what I'm feeling when looking at it. It's crazy after all these years, but that was my pole lap, and yeah, it's crazy. And I celebrated. This is now actually some racing that we'll do. Now I'm actually P15. That's because I got falsely disqualified in qualifying. Like, I remember I pulled off the track to let people finish their laps, and I got disqualified by the game, which was great. But this is an intense lap one from AOR Esports, I think it was AOR Esports tournament, and yeah, we were put back down to P15, and I actually won this race from P15, which was kind of nuts. Looking back at it. And I have my race winning move as well, as we get a bit of a cheeky warning, but yeah, we were hustling at the start of this, but it's so frantic in cockpit cam as well, as I think we go up, we have a look up the inside, slamming on the brakes because Eagle ahead, you know, fainting to the inside, so, and we had so much understeer in the car as well, just watching it, short shifting all the way up, sending up the inside. Thankfully the Haas gives the room. Oh, cheeky contact. Got a Red Bull on our mirrors, having a little look to the inside. Two cars trying to go for it ahead. This is one of the most fun races I've ever had the chance to do. And this is actually the second last lap of this race. We have Jarno ahead of us actually, and for those of you who don't know, Jarno and I used to we raced up together in the leagues, and this was actually for effectively the race lead. We have Michael Romanidis, who many of you will probably know, on our inside, and we sent it around the outside here. Just the driving technique is so bizarre to watch. I'm loading in so much angle on the lock and then spamming the gear, and we actually got the position, and Jarno, I believe, had a 3-second time penalty, so I think we won this race. So now we're at Monaco, and this was a bit of a bizarre race. We had something, I think something happened in qualifying that put us out of position, but this was a bit of a dumb move. We sent up the inside. We were taking so much risk. I remember this move. This is Bahrain. This is the race that we got pole in that I showed earlier. And this we had a DRS failure at some point in this race, I remember. But this was possibly the biggest dive bomb I've ever made. Ever. I don't even know how far back I was, but I remember that Jarno, I think, he was struggling with his tyres, I think, and I think we managed to save us a little bit in this race, and yeah, unfortunately didn't win this one, but I think that's the biggest dive bomb I've ever done. AOR Belgium, this was the first season, this was a pole position lap, and it was raining. I remember this one, and we were in the Haas back then. And yeah, I've always loved the rain, chat. I mean, I've always loved the rain. I've loved it from go-karts when I was younger. I've loved it on the sim. And when it rains in esports, I always usually feel like I've got a good chance. I love wet weather, I love you know, I love the wet weather. And this lap was pretty. This was cool because we were on slicks, but the rain was just getting light. Like, the rain was just there, and you can just see how tentative we have to be, and also the oversteer we're leaning on with as well. Back when I mean, driving in cockpit cam back then, it's you can be quick in cockpit cam. I mean, you know, we were certainly able to back then, and even in esports. You know, I used cockpit cam in 2019 and 2020 esports, so it's yeah, and I think we have a big snap and pull on here actually. Well, we hit this curb. Oh, we hit that curb badly. We lost so much time. Now into Piff Path, I think it's called. Oh man, this was a good lap. This was fun though, because I mean we had to push so much, and there was so little grip. And I think someone sets the fastest. Yeah, someone sets the fastest lap now. It's crazy. I can still remember this. And I remember, because look how much we've lost on the Delta, where we're so far up and now we've lost all the time. So I knew into this last chicane I had to perfect it. Otherwise we wouldn't get pole position, and then we had to just get the braking point, get the car in, just locking the tyres, and of course brake balance was a bit different back then as well, you can see, and then powering it to the line, 2 tenths up, and that was the pole position. I had a fun lap, I like that one. This is a Monaco overtake as well from that race, sending it up the inside of Raskas. Mate, trying to pass at Monaco requires so much risk. This was actually the move before the other one as well. This was an insane overtake. I remember this was like a VRC, one of the leagues back then, and it was the penultimate lap of the race, and we just absolutely barreled it up the inside. And I do not know how I got the car stopped, but I remember pulling that move off. I don't know why the footage cut there, but I remember pulling that move off and I was like, what? This was our lead battle, I think, as well, and another league race, we're sending it up the inside. First gear, second gear, third gear, just so different from now. Just trying up the inside. Oh, somehow not making contact. And we're still side by side as well. You can get good battles at Austria. Not quite getting the move done, but I had a good battle. Now for another world record. I've got quite a few world records that I think were pretty alright for the time. I think this was one of them. This might even be the world record still now. I mean, I don't even remember. I don't remember what's transpired since then. But this was F1 2018 Spain world record. I think it's a 0.1. I remember. I remember being pretty happy with this lap at the time. Obviously, you know, modern standards, it would probably be not as good if people were to be sweating it now, but I remember for the time this was a good lap, and even watching it, it was really satisfying just seeing how it all, you know, sort of all pieced together. Sliding on that rear, losing a bit of time in the Delta actually. DRS open, and then back, obviously we had the old hairpin back then. I didn't mind this hairpin, to be honest. I mean, the new sections whatever, but I didn't mind the old hairpin. Not opting to use third gear as well. We're actually relatively high on the gears, given what the engine braking was like on this game. Down to second. Oh, and you could cut that curb so much back then as well. But we had a really good chicane though, and that was a good lap. I remember that one. This was actually a really good battle I was having. This wasn't even a league race. This was a good battle I was having with with Deagle Killer, who's some of you might remember from back in the day, Roy, or no, I don't know, sorry I've mispronounced that. But yeah, we had a really good battle this race. I remember this is literally 4 minutes of non-stop battle. It was phenomenal. We're side by side going into the middle set. There were 20 laps in to a practice race. This was for AOR, I remember. And we're still side by side. Bonk. Yeah, this is good. This was good, and then we're sort of, we're just getting argy-bargy now, and I try and send it around the outside. We get a little bit of a squeeze. I try and give him the room. We're still going. Now in his slipstream, do we dive bomb it? Oh, we have a think. Pinching it tight to the apex, don't get a good exit though. Now we're going to get that ERS on. Up to high, up to rich, up to overtake, onto hot lap. Big send. Lock the rears, get it done. That was a good move. That was a good one. And to finish us off, This is the best world record I've ever done, I think. This was Singapore F1 2018. And I've actually uploaded this video as a standalone on my YouTube, but I wanted to talk about this lap because I remember sweating time trial for like quite a while after this race. Not after this race, just this was actually the day before F1 2019 came out, and I wanted to do one last world record. And I picked Singapore for whatever reason. I love street tracks. I love, you know, I love a bit of, you know, Monaco. Singapore's good fun as well, but I remember this lap, and I think I was nearly 3/10 quicker than the newest world record at the time. And that wasn't, and this isn't me trying to make it sound better than it is, but, you know, this was, it wasn't like P2 or 3 was a slow time or whatever it was, the order. You know, this was just this was like the peak lap. Like, this was, Singapore's such a long track, such a hard track to get the lap together, and this was the best lap that I've possibly done on time trial. Ever. Maybe, I mean, for all I know, I could go back if I had, you know, direct drive and all these, like, you don't know if you go back and do it now whether you could actually beat it, but I just know for when I did this lap, it was the best I'd ever done, and I would still probably put it up there as my best world record, just an out and out execution, because when you watch this lap, it's just everything is almost perfect. You know, there's very few places you could actually improve, and I did a 31.85, and I think the next nearest time was a 0.1, or maybe a, I don't know, did anyone get a 0? We're about to find out, because I do check the leaderboard, but this was an absolute, yeah, so 1:16, yeah, that lap was the best one I'd ever done. And I think that'll pretty much do it for this video, to be honest. I mean, we've had some good reaction, some good content. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. Yeah, good bit of throwback, and I guess a bit of insight for you guys that maybe didn't get to watch me back then. Sort of where I, in a way, came from, in the sense of, you know, the coming up through the league races, and, you know, seeing me drive a long time ago, 4.5 years ago, over 4.5 years ago. So hope you very much enjoyed this video, hope you very much enjoyed this video. It's been good fun to look back at the footage, very nostalgic. But yeah, take care everybody, love you guys. Yeah, like and subscribe if you enjoyed, leave your comments down below of what your thoughts were as well. I always love reading your comments. So yeah, take care everybody, see you guys in the next video, ciao.